Question for you. Do you think that you can reprogram your brain for success? I'm gonna prove it to you and show you exactly how. I'm Dr. Dan, I'm a neurostrategist, and this thing called success has different meaning for different people. So I'm not gonna tell you what success is, whether it be in your business, your finances, in your home life, in your marriage, in your relationships. You get to decide. What I wanna help you see is that it can be reprogrammed. What can be? Your brain. In this video, we're gonna talk about 3, not 10, just 3 ways you can simply and immediately start reprogramming your brain for success. Now, I've studied this for a long time, and to be honest, I'm not gonna go into the science to try to prove every aspect of the brain and how it's wired for success or not, how to rewire it. What I wanna do is share with you a couple stories to bring this home.
Story time.
My girls are golfers. I've got a 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they have league every Monday night. And what I experienced was that when we would golf on Sundays, which is our golf day, we would go out and they would play okay, and they've gotten better. I found it fascinating that on Monday nights when we'd go to golf league, they would always play so much better. For a while, I didn't even think about it. I just thought, well, they rise to the occasion. But as I really processed it and I pulled out my neuroscience brain to think, how is it that they're playing so much better? Because it wasn't just one time, it was every week, consistently. Sunday we'd go out, they'd play okay. Monday they'd go out and crush it. And I'm like, well, I started to assess it because I want to be able to help put them in an environment to do better all the time. And then I go back to the drawing board and go back to the text, put it together with the science, is the law of expectation. And what it says is simply this: when you expect something to happen, it is more likely to happen. And the greatest way to increase your expectations is to get around people who are no different than you, but are achieving that which you want to achieve. If you wanted a great marriage, get around people who have great marriages and emulate what they do. But you not only emulate it, you don't just model it, you see without consciously thinking about it. And this is the most powerful part, is you're not consciously thinking about it. You see that this person is no different than you, yet they have certain things that you want to get. They have achievements that you want to acquire. And so what happens is so powerful within the brain, and nothing compares to the amount of synapses that will grow and the speed to which they'll grow when you put yourself around the people and an environment that helps you increase your expectation without consciously thinking about it. So for my girls, they were playing with me on Sunday, and in their mind, they were thinking, well, I can hit the shots. Dad, you can hit those shots. You're better than us. It's expected that you could do that, but we can't do that. And they would watch me, and then they would never rise to that occasion because they didn't think they were capable or they didn't expect it. Yet when they went there on Monday and they would see their peers hitting shots better than them, they rose to the occasion. And I watched them, just their pace of play. In golf, it's like everything just should be smooth. The easier you play, the easier you swing, the more effective you are. And they would watch, especially my oldest daughter, I would watch her tee off, and her drives were so much better because she just had this easy, smooth swing. And that's because she would see that done by her peers. And they would play with 4 to 5 other people, and they would watch them do it. There was always 1 to 2 people in the group that were really good. And so they were able to watch them swing, and then they would emulate that. The same thing with putting, and the same thing with hitting it out of the sand. And so I found that to be fascinating, and I'm gonna continue to put them in environments, but not just golf. I'm talking every environment that will allow them to have success by enacting and engaging with this law of expectation. The second point is you got to decide to act. It's a decision. A mentor of mine, actually was a teacher of mine way back in high school, he said, just do it dumb.
You dumb.
He was a coach and a teacher, and when he was teaching us something or he was coaching us on the field to do something, just do it dumb. Dan, just do it dumb, meaning don't think about it, just do it. And I am bad at this because I will procrastinate. Do you know that procrastination is just a delay because you're fearful of the unwanted outcomes that could happen? How do I know this so well? Because I am the king of procrastination, and I've been the king of analysis. Here's what I do. I consider myself an analyzer. Like, I analyze everything. Oh, I'm one of those, well, you can't, I don't make decisions right away because I analyze. But really what I really was doing, I was delaying an undesirable result or outcome, and I was living in fear because I was worried about what could happen that I didn't want to happen. And so then I would delay and say I'm analyzing. Oh, I'm just an analyzer. And that is total garbage. That is just an excuse to not act. And so what you need to do is just act. Take calculated risk. It's not about a full risk and just throw care to the wayside, but I'm telling you, most of the reason for your delay is because you're worried about what could happen. And maybe that thing does happen, but you know what? At least you acted. Give yourself a chance to change. So I had a friend of mine who said it best. He was talking about creating a new program or product or service or offer. And he said, if you're not embarrassed,
I'm embarrassed.
by your first edition in a year from now or 2 years from now or even 6 months from now, if you're not embarrassed by it, you've taken too long to put it out because you've delayed. If you should be embarrassed a little bit by what I'm probably gonna look back on some of these videos that I've done and I'm gonna be like, I can't believe I would even go public with that. I'm so embarrassed by the fact that that is something people see and watch. And now I can tell you, I guess I gotta be okay with it. Not only okay with it, because at least I have something I want you to know and it's causing me to act. And I've been guilty of it and still am in many different areas of my life. My point is, you've got to decide to act. It's a decision. Don't make it more complicated or harder than it needs to be. And now the third one is, you've got to learn how to quickly pivot and adapt. And this is the beauty of number 2, right? When we said just decide to act, because if something doesn't go the way you want it to, you pivot and you adapt. I remember this was 3 years ago. I lost 6 figures in 6 months.
Oh, Lord.
Because of a failed idea that I thought was gonna work but didn't work. And I look back on it and I was frustrated at the time, and even, the 12 months following, I'm like, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe I went down this path and it wasn't successful. But when I look back, what it was tuition. It was tuition money to know what my next move needed to be. And so, yes, it may cost you some time. Yes, it may cost you some money, but you just rearrange and say, no, that was tuition dollars to know what my next level of success was going to be. So all successful people, you've read about this, some of the greatest known influencers and multi-billionaires all have had the biggest failures, upsets, and disappointments. And so this is how you actually wire your brain for success. You pivot and adapt. They call this the University of Hard Knocks, right? UHK means you learned it the hard way. But what I would like to reframe that as is PAU, Pivot and Adapt University. There's something about saying university after something that makes it sound a little bit more complete. But Pivot and Adapt University, when you live your life, hey, I'm not afraid of what could happen or what may happen. I'm more afraid of the regret if I don't try. The pain of discipline is always easier than the pain of regret. So get out there and do it, knowing that you will pivot and you will adapt because you decided to act, and most importantly, you engaged and enlisted the law of expectation. And hey, quick note, if you want more information on how to actually apply these principles, check out my book, The Trust Formula. I wrote about all this stuff and so much more on how to rewire your brain for success, how to communicate it effectively, and how to grow your influence.